Jeanne Tate, and I'm an adoption attorney in Florida, and I've been practicing in this field for over 30 years now, and I'm very excited to be able to talk to you about a topic that's near and dear to my heart, and that is the adoption of foster care children. And many people don't realize that we have over 500,000, 500,000 children in foster care today. And over 100,000 of those children are available for adoption right now. And we need to step up and provide homes for these children to prevent them from falling through the cracks. And I would tell you that many children wait more than 5 years to be adopted, if they're ever adopted at all. And during that 5-year wait, their lives are not pretty. They get shifted many times from one foster home to another. They've already lost their parents and much contact with their parents, and now they're breaking relationships that they have with foster parents or kids in their school or neighborhoods that they may have become acquainted with and familiar with as they shift from one foster home to another, often putting their things in plastic bags. It is really, really heart-wrenching. Approximately 30,000 of them leave the foster care system every year because they age out. In other words, they never are adopted. They never have permanency through adoption. They never have a family. They have nowhere to go for Christmas or other holidays. They have no safety net as they transition from job to job or home to home or city to city. And I think that the clarion call for all of us is the statistics that show us what happens to those children. Shockingly, they wind up in our prisons. They wind up in our mental health care institutions, and they wind up in our homeless population. Recently, I saw a statistic that over 60% of the people in prison were in foster care at one point. And that was shocking to me, and certainly a clarion call for all of us to step up and do something for these children. These children, who I believe are our responsibility, all of our responsibilities. So I'm delighted that you want to learn more about the adoption of foster care children. So the good news is there are lots of ways to get involved with the adoption of the foster care population. One of the most common ways is to contact and go through the public system. So the Florida Department of Children and Families in Florida regulates the care and management and adoption of foster care children. And it's typical for them in any given county to have a contract with what we call a local community-based care provider. They have that in Duval County, in Hillsborough County, in Orange County, and in most counties throughout the state. And so those providers are basically manage the children and looking for people to adopt, foster to adopt, or plain old do foster care. And one of the first things that you need to do if you want to embark on a journey for adoption, privately or publicly, is to get a home study. You have to pass a fairly extensive process to verify that you're suitable to care for these children. You're suitable to be their forever parents. I don't mean to suggest that it's a daunting process, but you do need to be able to establish the physical, financial, and emotional ability to provide care for a child. It does involve child abuse and criminal background checks. It involves a physical inspection of your home to ensure that it's safe, and it does require references and recommendations so that the home study provider is assured that this child is going to have a wonderful and loving and permanent home in your home. And that process, once complete, really is a ticket to you doing any kind of adoption, because you are certified then as adoptive parents. But to be able to adopt through the public system, there's an additional important requirement, and that is to complete a parent education program. It's commonly referred to as MAPS in Florida. It's like a model approach to parenting. And what it does is it prepares you for issues that might come up in adoption, prepares you for issues that might arise with a child that is older, or that might be physically or mentally handicapped, or a child that is struggling to identify with a parent because it's been in multiple foster homes or multiple breaks in attachments that it has had with caregivers and parents throughout his or her life. And so it's the best assurance that this placement, when it does occur, is going to be permanent and that you are going to be equipped to handle the issues that arise from that. It is difficult to navigate this system sometimes by yourself. It is a large bureaucracy, and I would suggest that you all read the very comprehensive report that was put out by the Evan B. Donaldson Institute, which is a big adoption think tank, and they do a lot of really remarkable work, good work in the adoption field. But they have written a report about how to navigate the foster care system and how the inefficiencies of a large bureaucracy are sometimes off-putting to adoptive parents because they call and their calls aren't returned, or they call and the caseworker is not certain about how to provide them with the appropriate information to answer their question or the appropriate resources for the next step. So many times the entity that does your home study knows you the best. They know what kind of child would be suitable in your home. They know the characteristics of a child that you may be searching for, and they are a tremendous resource to advocate for you in the foster care system. And many foster care workers have difficulty returning the calls of an individual who might make inquiry about a specific child or about the adoption process. And they're more attentive and responsive to an agency that is accustomed to the framework that they operate within. So don't be shy about asking them to advocate for a child-specific situation.